Location: mainly my room and bathroom. I was alone except for my dog, my parents sleeping upstairs. Previous drug experience: smoked a good quantity of weed, drink lots of booze, no acid or shrooms yet, but I did DXM a few times. Also, sniffed gas once and tripped out harshly on that. This was my second time on Dramamine. Last night at about 11 p.m. I downed my 12 pills, 50 mg Dimenhydrinate hydrochloride each. Laid in bed for about an hour and started seeing cool purple jellyfish blobs if I closed my eyes, pleasantly stoned. 30 minutes later I turned the lights off and was listening to Santana when I heard something like a bullfrog croaking. Then I looked outside and there were many little birds flying around. I was surprised that none flew into the window. I looked at my dogs in the dark and it kept turning into other shapes. Then one of them flew into my room and perched on my bedpost. I swear it was the most real thing I've ever seen. Then I blinked and it was gone, and all of the sudden my friend D was standing by my bed, so we started having a conversation. I sparked up a cigarette. We must have talked for about 10 minutes. Then I went to take a drag of my smoke, and realized there was no cigarette there, and D was gone. I was shocked and called out for D. Then I looked out my window into my parents' garden and D was outside having a smoke. I looked around some more and the little birds came back, and my dog was outside with Dave. Then my other friend Jay appeared and we talked. I would have sworn they were there, but it was all a hallucination. They were gone. Then a local drug dealer appeared in my room and I bought a 40 bag of weed from him, and 4 packs of cigarettes. I went to go tell Dave but I couldn't find him. I went and drank some water, and it burned in my stomach. I couldn't burp properly either. When I returned to my room, my dog was standing on my bed and he started speaking to me. I don't remember what we were talking about exactly, but I was praising him, saying he was a good boy for learning how to speak. I laid back in my bed and people I knew kept appearing and I would have conversations with them, and I heard some weird natural noises like crickets and frogs, which BTW I never hear when I am sober. I would see animals and birds, and eventually I would see these white blobs of light which referred to kindly as the energy. I would tell all my friends who kept appearing about the energy. Then I got up, went to my window and tried to communicate with it but it disappeared, which is quite disturbing. It made me feel so disappointed when the entities disappeared. Such a deep sense of loss. I smoked another imaginary cigarette, which seemed real as any other cig I have smoked before. But when I went to throw the butt away, it was gone. I even smelled my hands this time and they didn't smell like smoke. Then I had a delusion of going to my kitchen and getting some Oreos, but when I got back they were gone. The rest of the night went just like this, with more people and imaginary objects until at some point I think I fell asleep and started dreaming, but I could have still been awake and hallucinating. That's what's so scary about this drug, the fact that you cannot tell fantasy from reality. One minute you are lying down and the next you are having a conversation with your friend who isn't even in the neighborhood, and it seems completely normal. I don't think I will do this drug for a long time because of the nasty after effects, such as sore throat, stomach pains and such. It's been 24 hours and I am still seeing things and hearing things, like a leaf turned into a bird and something called out my name. The tile floor at my school was breathing and rolling. But now I can tell the difference between fantasy and reality. I would only recommend this if you have about 3 days to recover afterwards and are pretty stable. Make sure to have lots of water around, and I was stupid. I think I probably should have had a sitter.